The moment went by very fast. I remember Dr. Watson touched on it briefly earlier. The look on the student's face is a large memory that I have. I do remember it was like a very blank look, but it wasn't a blank look at all on his face.
And is that why you lifted your hand? Did you know what was about to happen?
Yes. Yep.
And what is the last thing you remember that day at the school?
The last thing I remember at the school. Obvious, I thought I was dying. I thought I had died. I thought I was either on my way to heaven or in heaven, but then it all got black, and so I then thought I wasn't going there, and then my next memory is I see two coworkers around me, and I process that I'm hurt, and they're putting pressure on where I'm hurt.
And Abby, can you describe for the jury a little bit about how you're still feeling physically and emotionally? And I know that's a big question.
Physically,
Can you describe how it is with your left hand still? The things you can and can't do, even to this day? So Abby, can you tell the jury when we have lunch together, are you able to open your potato chips, or do I open your potato chips for you?
I asked you, we catered sandwiches in a box, and a small bag of chips and cookies were catered, and I was trying to open the bag of chips on my own multiple times, different ways, trying to hold it different ways, and I eventually asked you to open it. It's the same thing with water bottles. Overall, I would say I do struggle with doing things.
And for example, we heard from your sister yesterday, and she described a change in your relationship with not only her, but friends. Are you able to explain a little bit to the jury about how you feel maybe those relationships have been changed?
The best I can explain it, it's like I still feel connected and close, but it's also that feeling of distance, a little numbness, and it's like I know I trust the person I'm with. You know, I love them, I know them, but there's something that's just different. I can't necessarily put it into words.
And what about, we heard from your mother about the movie Hamilton. You were planning to go to it that day. What happened that changed your mind when you had already purchased the tickets and made those plans?
It was a Saturday. I remember waking up. I woke up and I remembered that there was a scene where two characters had dueled with firearms, and when we had started making the plans to see the movie, when the Saturday was coming up to see the movie, it just never flew through my mind. I had seen Hamilton before, but for some reason when I woke up that day to go see the movie, it just flew right into my head, and just an overwhelming sense of, I felt like everything just came over my body. And I remember I called my mom. I don't remember if I was crying on the phone to her. I don't remember if it was afterwards, but I remember crying a lot. And I remember that afterwards, they were asking me what else would I want to do instead that day. So, okay, we can't go to the movies. What do you want to do instead? Where else would you want to go instead? And I remember saying or telling them nowhere. Like, I can't go anywhere. I just want to stay home. I'm not going anywhere today. I can't. And I remember that it was my mom and my sister. So it wasn't just my mom and I planning to go. It was my mom, my sister, and I, all three of us planning to go. And then they proposed to come over to my place. And even that still, I didn't want. No, just leave me alone. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to. No. To my mom and my sister.
Well, Abby, I know this has been difficult for you, so that's all the questions I have. I appreciate it, okay?